The bill for my own graduation party was waiting inside a white envelope beside my slice of cake. At first, I thought it was a card. My mother had placed it neatly under the edge of my plate, right beside the gold napkin with my name printed across it. The party was almost over. The rented lights were still glowing across the backyard. My relatives were taking pictures near the balloon wall. My younger sister Lauren was laughing beside a flower arch that looked more expensive than my entire college wardrobe. I opened the envelope expecting a note. Instead, I found an invoice. Amount due, $6,200. I read it twice. Then I looked across the table at my mother. She was watching me, not smiling, waiting. "What is this?" I asked. She lifted her glass. "Your half." "My half of what?" "The party." For a moment, I genuinely believed she was joking. The backyard had been full of people for 5 hours. Family, neighbors, former teachers, my mother's friends, Lauren's friends, and several people I had never met. There had been catered food, a rented bar, custom signs, a photo booth, a DJ, flowers, and a giant screen that played childhood pictures of me for exactly 8 minutes before switching to a slideshow about Lauren's new boutique. I had not asked for any of it. 3 months earlier, when I learned I would be graduating from nursing school, I told my parents I wanted a small dinner, maybe 10 people, maybe pizza. I had student loans, an old car, and a new job starting in 6 weeks. I did not want anyone spending money to prove they were proud of me. My mother refused. "This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment," she said. "Let me celebrate my daughter." That sentence mattered. Let me. Not help me. Not split it with me. Let me celebrate my daughter. So I agreed. Now she had placed a $6,200 charge beside my cake. "Mom," I said, keeping my voice low, "you told me this was your gift." She tilted her head. "The party was the gift. The cost still has to be shared." "That does not make sense." My father looked over from the other side of the table. "What is going on?" Mom answered before I could. "Emma is surprised by her contribution." My father's face tightened. He had the expression he always wore when he wanted a problem to disappear, without learning what caused it. "Not tonight," he said. "I agree," I replied. "Why did you give me a bill tonight?" Mom's eyes narrowed. "Because you leave tomorrow morning, and I did not want this dragged out. I had planned to drive back to my apartment after breakfast. My hospital orientation started Monday. My graduation cap was still on the chair behind me. I had spent the afternoon being hugged by people who said things like, "Your mother must be so proud," and Ted, "She went all out for you." Now I understood why Mom had smiled so brightly every time. She was not giving me a party. She was presenting me with a purchase. "How did this cost $12,400? I asked. My cousin Rachel, sitting 2 seats away, stopped eating. Lauren turned toward us. Mom lowered her voice. "Do not embarrass me. You handed me an invoice at the party. It is a family matter. Then why does it look like a business bill?" Dad reached for the envelope. I held it away. The page was not from a caterer or rental company. It was a summary my mother had typed herself. Catering, $4,800. Event design, $2,900. Music and entertainment, $1,600. Photography, $1,200. Rentals and staffing, $1,900. Total, $12,400. Emma's portion, $6,200. There were no receipts, no company names, no itemized services, just numbers. "Did you pay all of this already?" I asked. Mom gave a short laugh. "Obviously." "With what?" Her face changed. "That is not your concern. It becomes my concern when you ask me for $6,000. Lauren stepped closer. "Emma, can you please not do this?" I looked at her. "Do what?" "Turn your graduation into a fight." I stared at my sister standing beneath flowers ordered for a party that was supposed to celebrate me. "Did you know?" She looked toward Mom. "That was enough. You knew she was going to charge me?" "It is normal to help with your own party." "No, it is not. For weddings, people pay." "This is not a wedding." She crossed her arms. "You have a signing bonus." There it was. My hospital had offered me an $8,000 signing bonus because I agreed to work nights in a critical care unit for 2 years. My family knew. I had told them because I was relieved it would cover moving costs and the first part of my student loans. My mother had apparently heard free money. "You think my signing bonus belongs to you?" I asked. Mom stood. "I think this family supported you through school." The people closest to us had stopped talking. The DJ was still playing music, but our table had become its own quiet room. "I worked through school," I said. "We paid your phone bill. For 1 year. We let you live at home during your first semester. I paid rent. Reduced rent. I shared a room with storage boxes." My father whispered my name. A warning. Not because I was wrong. Because I was saying family facts in front of family. Mom's face hardened. "You always count everything." I looked at the invoice. "You are charging me $6,200. That is different." "How?" "Because I am your mother." There are sentences people use when logic has failed. "Because I am your mother." "Because we are family." After everything I have done? They are not explanations. They are attempts to end the discussion. I placed the invoice back on the table. "I am not paying this tonight." Mom smiled without warmth. "You are paying it before your bonus hits." "How do you know when it hits?" No answer. Lauren knew. She had asked me the week before when the hospital deposited it. I thought she was curious. I should have known better. My mother leaned closer. "Do not make me chase you." That was when something inside me settled. Not exploded. Settled. The same way it had when I was 16 and realized Mom had used money from my summer job to pay Lauren's dance fees without asking. The same way it had when I was 20 and learned the college savings account my grandparents created for me had been emptied during my senior year of high school. Mom said the money had gone toward family needs. Later, I found out those needs included Lauren's private school tuition and a new kitchen. I had spent 6 years telling myself those events belonged to the past. But people repeat what the family forgives without consequences. "I need the receipts," I said. Mom blinked. "What?" "Every receipt. Catering, rentals, music, everything." "You do not trust me?" "No." The word came out clean. Her face went pale. Dad stood. "Emma, apologize." "For what?" "You do not speak to your mother like that." She handed me a fake invoice. "It is not fake," Mom said. "Then, show me the originals." "You are being ungrateful. And you are avoiding the question," Lauren whispered. "Oh my God." Mom picked up the envelope. "You know what? Forget it. Enjoy your night." She turned away. That move had worked on me for years. Create a conflict, refuse proof, act wounded, wait for me to apologize so the family could return to normal. But I was tired of normal. I took the envelope from her hand. "No, you charged me. I am keeping the bill." Her fingers tightened around the paper. For 1 second, we both held it. Then she released it. "Fine," she said. "Keep it. You will see exactly what this family spent on you." I folded the invoice and placed it in my purse. At the time, I thought the amount was the betrayal. It was not. The real betrayal arrived 4 days later when the caterer called me directly. She did not call about payment. She called to apologize. "I should never have agreed to create 2 invoices," she said. I stood in the parking lot outside my new hospital, still wearing my orientation badge. "What 2 invoices?" The woman went silent. Then she asked, "Your mother did not tell you?" "No." Her next sentence exposed more than an inflated party bill. It exposed what the party had actually been for. And once I saw the original invoice, I realized my graduation had been the smallest event my mother was trying to make me pay for. My name is Emma Hayes, and before that party, I was what therapists politely call the responsible daughter. My family called me the easy one. Lauren was the emotional one. Mom was the organizer. Dad was the peacemaker. Those words sounded harmless. They were not. Lauren being emotional meant no one could tell her no without preparing for tears, accusations, and 3 days of silence. Dad being the peacemaker meant he asked whoever was calmer to surrender. Mom being the organizer meant every family event became evidence of her sacrifice. And me being easy meant I was expected to absorb the cost. I was 3 years older than Lauren. When we were children, she was bright, social, and naturally dramatic. She could turn a scraped knee into a family emergency. She could also make a room laugh within seconds. I was quieter. I liked lists. I remembered deadlines. I learned early that if I packed my own lunch, Mom had more time for Lauren's dance competition. If I handled my homework alone, Dad could help Lauren with math. If I did not complain, the house stayed peaceful. Adults praised me for being mature. No one asked why I had to be. When I was 12, Mom forgot to pick me up from a school science event because Lauren's rehearsal ran late. I waited outside for 90 minutes. When she arrived, she was crying. "I am the worst mother," she said, so I comforted her. That became the pattern. When she failed me, I helped her feel better about it. By college, I had become very good at leaving quietly. I chose nursing because I loved the work, but also because it offered a clear path to independence. I attended a state program, worked weekends, and applied for every scholarship I could find. My parents told relatives they were putting me through school. They paid for 2 textbooks and the family phone plan. I stopped correcting them because the truth always became an argument. During my final semester, Mom became unusually interested in my job search. What hospitals were offering bonuses? Would I move? How soon would I start earning? Could nurses get overtime immediately? At first, I thought she was proud. Then Lauren announced she wanted to open a boutique, not an online shop. A physical store with polished floors, gold racks, a custom sign, and a launch event. Lauren had worked part-time at a clothing store for 8 months. She had no savings, no business plan, no experience managing inventory. But Mom called it her dream. The same month I signed my hospital offer, Lauren signed a lease. I asked how she was funding it. She said, "Investors." I asked who. She laughed. "Do not put your accountant hat on. I am a nurse." You know what I mean. I did. I was the sister who asked whether something could be afforded. That made me negative. Mom began planning my graduation party 2 weeks later. At first, the guest list was 20 people. Then 40. Then 60. Then 90. When I objected, Mom said she had already invited people. When I asked why Lauren's boutique logo appeared on the digital invitation, she said the designer had reused a template. When I asked why the party colors matched Lauren's store, she said gold and cream were elegant. When I asked why half the guests were people from Lauren's fashion network, Mom said networking could help everyone. I saw the signs. I just did not want to believe the answer. The graduation party was not only my celebration, it was Lauren's soft launch. My diploma was the reason people came. Her boutique was what they were encouraged to remember. The photo wall had my graduation year on one side and Lauren's logo on the other. The gift bags contained a thank you note from me and a discount card from her store. The DJ announced my degree once. He announced Lauren's upcoming opening 4 times. Even the cake had 2 levels. The top said, "Congratulations, Emma." The bottom displayed a gold design matching Lauren's brand. When I questioned it, Mom said the bakery had misunderstood. I believed none of it. But I had already spent years learning that if I objected during an event, the family would remember my reaction more than what caused it. So I smiled. I thanked people. I let strangers tell me how lucky I was to have a mother who did so much. Then she handed me a bill for half of Lauren's launch. I just did not have the proof yet. The caterer's name was Rosa Martinez. I remembered her from the party because she was the only vendor who spoke to me like the event actually belonged to me. She had found me near the kitchen while everyone was taking photos and asked whether I had eaten. When I said no, she made a plate and placed it in my hands. "Graduates forget to eat," she said. "Mothers forget the graduate is a person." At the time, I thought she was joking. 4 days later, she was on the phone explaining that my mother had requested 2 invoices. One for the actual catering, Rosa said, and one combined event invoice. How much was the actual catering? There was a pause. $1,840. I looked across the hospital parking lot at rows of cars shining in the afternoon sun. My mother's summary listed 4,800. What was on the second invoice? I should send it to you. Please? I need you to understand something first. Your mother told me the larger invoice was for a family reimbursement agreement. She said you needed documentation for an employer graduation benefit. My hospital offered no graduation benefit. She told you I was being reimbursed? Yes. Did she ask you to change the catering amount? She asked me to list costs from several vendors together under event services. I refused to put my company name on expenses I did not provide. Then she asked me to prepare a coordination summary using information she gave me. Did you? Yes. Rosa's voice became quieter. I should not have. It was not illegal by itself, but it was misleading. When I saw your name as the person responsible for the balance, I became uncomfortable. My name? The copy she sent back listed you as client. I gripped the phone. I never signed anything. I know. That is why I called. The email arrived while we were speaking. There were 3 attachments. The first was Rosa's real invoice. Food service for 76 guests, $1,420. Additional staff, $240. Delivery and setup, $180. Total, $1,840. Paid in full by Patricia Hayes. The second attachment was the coordination summary Mom had asked Rosa to create. It listed a total event cost of $12,400, the same number on the bill beside my cake, but this version included notes. Boutique promotional display, $1,650. Launch photography and product images, $1,100. Retail opening decor deposit, $2,400. Influencer gift bags, $960. Store preview video, $1,250. Graduation catering, $1,840. Family event rentals, $100. Miscellaneous event staffing, $700. Music, $900. Printing, $500. The third attachment was an email chain between Mom and Rosa. Mom had written, "Please make the final summary neutral. Emma becomes difficult when she feels Lauren is receiving more support." Rosa replied, "Is Emma paying for the event?" Mom answered, "She will cover half after graduation. She has a large bonus coming, and this is the fairest way to manage family costs." Family costs, not her graduation costs. The invoice exposed the first lie. Then the email exposed the reason. My mother had spent my future bonus before I received it. She planned to use $6,200 from me to cover expenses tied to Lauren's boutique. The party was the collection method. I felt angry, then humiliated, then something worse. Unsurprised. "Are you there?" Rosa asked. "Yes. I am sorry. You did not charge me. I helped her create the document. You called me. That matters." She exhaled. "Your mother still owes a small balance for additional staffing. She asked me to collect it from you." "How much?" $360. Do not contact her yet. I will not. Please send every message, invoice, payment record, and contract connected to the party. I can send my records. I cannot give you another vendor's private information. Understood. And Emma? Yes? Congratulations. The word nearly broke me. For 4 days, no one in my family had called to ask how orientation went. Mom had texted twice. First, "I expect a payment plan by Friday." Then, "Ignoring family obligations is not how an adult begins her career." Lauren had posted 73 pictures from the party. In 12 of them, I appeared. In 36, her boutique logo did. The caption read, "Celebrating big dreams with the people who make them possible." She had tagged the boutique before tagging me. Dad sent one message. "Please call your mother. She is hurt." No one asked whether I was hurt. I saved every file Rosa sent. Then I called my hospital's payroll office and changed the account for my signing bonus. Originally, the money was going into the joint checking account I still shared with my parents from college. I had kept the account because Dad said it helped them transfer money in emergencies. There had never been an emergency deposit from them. There had been several withdrawals I did not question. $40. 75. 120. Mom called them household reimbursements. I opened the account history. Over the previous 18 months, my mother had withdrawn $3,480. Some descriptions were vague. Groceries, insurance, family expense, education. Then I saw a transfer from 2 weeks earlier, $1,500 to Hayes Family Events. I had never heard of Hayes Family Events. A business search took less than a minute. The company had been registered 4 months earlier. Owner, Patricia Hayes. Business address, Lauren's Boutique. I downloaded the account records and removed both parents as authorized users. The bank representative asked whether I wanted to report unauthorized activity. I said not yet. I needed to understand the full picture first. That was the difference between my mother and me. She acted before anyone could question her. I gathered facts before anyone could rewrite them. After work, I drove to my apartment and placed every document across the kitchen table. Mom's invoice, Rosa's invoice, the coordination summary, the emails, the bank statements, Lauren's boutique posts. Then I created a timeline. January, Lauren signed the lease. February, Mom created Hayes Family Events. March, money began leaving my joint account more frequently. April, Mom expanded my graduation party. May, boutique vendors were added. June, party held. 4 days later, $6,200 demanded from me. I called Dad. He answered on the second ring. Finally. Did you know Mom created a business? Silence. What business? Hayes Family Events. He sighed. She was helping Lauren with the launch. Did you know she used my account? Another silence. Your account. The joint account. That is a family account. No, it is my checking account. You and Mom were authorized users. We opened it when you were 17. I am 25? Emma, do not turn this into a legal argument. I'm asking whether you knew. I knew your mother moved some money. How much? I do not know. Did you know she planned to charge me for Lauren's boutique launch? That is not how she described it. How did she describe it? He lowered his voice. Asking you to contribute to the graduation celebration. Dad, the original catering bill was $1,840. What? The total party summary includes thousands for Lauren's boutique. That cannot be right. I have the invoices. He was quiet. For one brief moment, I hoped he would say he was sorry. Instead, he said, "Your mother has been under a lot of pressure." There it was, the family's emergency exit. Mom was under pressure. Lauren was sensitive. Dad wanted peace. Emma could handle it. Did pressure make her forge my role as client? Do not use words like forge. She placed my name on a payment summary I never approved. She may have assumed. She told a vendor I had an employer reimbursement. Dad exhaled. I do not know anything about that. Would you like to? What does that mean? I am emailing you the documents. Do not send anything to my work account. The speed of his answer told me more than the words. Why? Because family financial matters should stay private. Private from whom? Emma. Your employer? He became angry. This is exactly what your mother means. You take one mistake and make it sound criminal. I have not called it criminal. You said forged. I said she put my name on something without permission. That is not the same. It is close enough that you do not want it in writing. He said nothing. I felt the final piece settle into place. Dad was not unaware. He was selectively uninformed. He knew enough to protect himself, not enough to protect me. I'm sending it to your personal email, I said. Wait. I ended the call. Then I sent everything. Mom called 11 minutes later. Not Dad. Mom. You contacted Rosa? She contacted me. She had no right. She had my name on a bill. That was an internal planning document. You handed me the same amount as a personal charge, because half the event was yours. No, the graduation catering was $1,840. Most of the rest was Lauren's launch. The party benefited you too. How did retail decor for Lauren's store benefit me? You took pictures under it. I closed my eyes. You charged me because I stood near decorations you bought for her? I charged you because this family spent years helping you become a nurse. The argument had changed. When the party expenses failed, she moved to my childhood. How much do I owe for being raised? I asked. Do not be disgusting. You are sending invoices. I am asking for appreciation. No, you are asking for $6,200. Her voice sharpened. You have always been selfish about money. I laughed. It came out before I could stop it. I worked through school while you told everyone you paid. We supported you emotionally. You forgot my nursing pinning ceremony. Lauren had a vendor meeting. You used my college account. That money kept a roof over your head. You used it for the kitchen. The kitchen was part of the house you lived in. For 8 months after the renovation. Mom became quiet. Old facts were only acceptable when she controlled them. I continued. You withdrew $3,400 from my checking account. Those were reimbursements. For what? Family things. Name them. I do not keep receipts for every sacrifice. But you created an invoice for mine. She began crying. Not because I had hurt her. Because tears had ended difficult conversations before. I cannot believe my own daughter is treating me like a thief. I spoke calmly. You took money without asking. I am your mother. Yes. That word did not mean what she wanted it to mean anymore. She lowered her voice. If you embarrass Lauren before her opening, I will never forgive you. There it was. Not if I embarrassed Mom. If I embarrassed Lauren. What are you afraid I'll do? You have those emails. I do. Delete them. No. Emma. No. You are going to destroy your sister's dream over one party. I have not contacted her landlord, vendors, or customers. Then what do you want? It was the first useful question she had asked. I want the $3,480 returned to my account. That money is gone. I want written confirmation that I owe nothing for the party. You do owe. I want a full list of any accounts, contracts, invoices, or vendor agreements where you used my name. Silence. My skin went cold. Mom? There are no contracts. That was not the full question. I may have listed you as a reference. For what? Lauren's store. What kind of reference? She needed stronger financial support for the lease. I sat down. Did you guarantee her lease in my name? No. Did you use my employment letter? It was only part of the application package. My hand tightened around the phone. The hospital job offer. I had emailed Mom a copy because she said she wanted to frame the first page for the graduation party. She had used it in Lauren's lease application. Did the landlord believe I was financially backing the business? No. Did the application say I was? Silence. Mom. It said family support was available. Did it name me? It listed household resources. I do not live in your household. You were still using our address on some records. Because I was in school. It was not a lie. It was not true. Her voice became hard. You are not going to do this to your sister. I am calling the landlord. If you do not come home. The threat would have destroyed me a year earlier. That day, it clarified everything. Home was not a building where I was welcome. It was a system where I was useful. Okay, I said. She stopped. What? Okay. You would choose paperwork over your family? No. You chose using my identity over asking me. I ended the call. Then I called the landlord listed on Lauren's boutique website. I expected one false statement. I found 4. The boutique landlord was a man named Victor Lane. His company owned 6 small commercial properties across the city. He answered his own phone and sounded tired before I finished introducing myself. Yes, Emma Hayes, he said. You are the co-supporting family sponsor. No, I am not. There was a pause. Is this about the opening delay? I did not know there was an opening delay. Another pause. What exactly are you calling about? I need copies of every document connected to me. He became cautious. I cannot release a tenant's private application. You can release documents containing my personal information. Do you have identification? Yes. Send it to my office email. I sent a photo of my driver's license and hospital badge. 20 minutes later, he called back. His voice had changed. Ms. Hayes, did you sign a letter dated February 12th? No. Did you authorize your mother to provide your employment offer? No. Did you agree to maintain a minimum balance in support of the lease? No. How much? $25,000. I almost dropped the phone. I have never had $25,000. The letter states you would receive employment compensation and a signing incentive, then maintain accessible funds. My signing bonus is $8,000. The application lists expected first-year earnings, overtime projections, and family support. Whose signature is on the letter? Your name is typed. The document says electronically acknowledged. I never acknowledged it. Victor became silent. Then he said, there is also a personal guarantee page. My heart began pounding. Signed? It appears signed. Send it. I need to contact counsel. You need to preserve it. I understand. Do not contact my mother before sending me a copy. I cannot promise that. You accepted a guarantee without speaking to the guarantor. His voice became defensive. We received a complete application through a broker. Then you may want to speak to your attorney before warning the people who submitted it. That worked. He sent the documents 12 minutes later. The signature looked like mine. Not perfect. Close enough. My mother had seen me sign forms for years. She knew the long curve of the E. She knew I crossed the H too high. She had copied my signature onto a guarantee for Lauren's 3-year commercial lease. The maximum personal exposure was $72,000. $72,000. I sat at my kitchen table reading that number until it stopped looking real. The party bill was not only an attempt to take my signing bonus, it was the first collection toward a risk I did not know existed. Lauren's boutique opening had been delayed because contractors were unpaid. The store had already missed part of its first rent payment. If the business failed, Victor's company could come after me. Not Mom, not Lauren, me. I called a former classmate whose older sister, Nina Patel, was an attorney, specializing in business disputes. Nina met me that evening at her office. She reviewed the documents without interrupting. Then she placed the false guarantee beside Mom's party invoice. This is serious. I know. No, Emma. I need you to hear me. Do not contact your mother again. Do not warn your sister. Do not post anything. Do not send emotional messages. I wasn't planning to. Good. Can they enforce it? Not if you did not sign or authorize it. But we need to challenge it immediately. Will my mother be arrested? Nina studied me. That depends on what happened, what evidence exists, whether the landlord reports it, and how the parties respond. I looked down. Even after everything, the possibility of Mom facing criminal consequences made me sick. Nina noticed, protecting yourself is not the same as choosing the punishment. I know. Do you? I did not answer. She continued, we will notify the landlord that the guarantee is disputed and demand preservation of the application records, metadata, broker communications, and payment records. We will also check your credit. My credit report showed 2 new inquiries. One from a business credit company. One from a bank. I had not authorized either. The bank inquiry was tied to an application for a $20,000 business line of credit. Applicant, Hayes & Lane Boutique LLC. Supporting guarantor, Emma Hayes. The application had not been approved. Not because the bank detected fraud. Because my projected income had not started yet. Mom had been waiting for my job to begin. My graduation party was timed 3 weeks before my first hospital paycheck and shortly before the signing bonus. Once the money appeared, she could use the account balance as evidence that I was capable of supporting Lauren's business. The $6,200 charge would have moved half my bonus toward them voluntarily. If I paid, Mom could later say I had agreed to support the boutique. The invoice was not only greed. It was a paper trail. I felt physically ill. Nina called it what it was. Someone is building a story where you knowingly funded this business. Why? Because consent is easier to claim when money moves. I remembered Mom saying, the party was the gift. The cost still has to be shared. She needed me to accept the debt, not only pay it. Could Lauren know? I asked. We do not guess, we gather. That became my rule. We do not guess. We gather. The next morning, Nina sent formal notices. Victor's attorney responded quickly. The lease guarantee was suspended pending investigation. The bank froze the business credit application. My credit bureaus placed fraud alerts. Then the family discovered I had hired a lawyer. Dad arrived at my apartment at 7 that evening. He had never visited before. He stood in the hallway holding the invoice. Not the original. Mom's typed one. Let me in. No. Emma, this has gone far enough. You can speak here. He looked down the hallway. I am not discussing family business where neighbors can hear. Then we can speak by phone. He pushed one hand against the door. Not hard. Enough to remind me he expected access. I did not move. Take your hand off my door. His face changed. He removed it. You contacted Lauren's landlord with accusations. I told him I did not sign a guarantee. Your mother says you gave permission. She is lying. Do not say that. I have evidence. Dad looked tired. Your mother made mistakes. A mistake is entering the wrong date. She was trying to help your sister. With my identity. She believed you would agree. Then why not ask? Because you always say no. The honesty of that sentence stopped me. Not because it defended her, because it explained her. My mother had not asked, because my answer mattered only if it was yes. Dad continued. Lauren's entire future is at risk. So is mine. You have a career. She has a business. You say that like one can be sacrificed for the other. She has already signed contracts. So did I. With a hospital. My bonus is for relocation and work commitments, not her store. You can recover financially. There it was. The family's moral equation. The person most likely to survive should be the person chosen to absorb the harm. What do you want me to do? I asked. Withdraw the dispute. No? Tell the landlord you agreed verbally. No. We will repay you. With what money? He looked away. Your mother has a plan. Does it involve another invoice? His jaw tightened. This sarcasm is unnecessary. So was the forged guarantee. He lowered his voice. If this becomes public, your mother could face charges. That depends on what she did. You know what she did. So do you. His face went still. I watched him. How long have you known? I found out yesterday. About the lease? Yes. The business credit application? He hesitated. That was enough. You knew before yesterday. I knew they were seeking financing. With my name? I did not examine the details. Did you sign anything? No. Did Mom? She manages that side. I laughed softly. That side. Emma, I am trying to keep this family together. No, you are trying to keep Mom from facing consequences. She is your mother, and I am your daughter. The words hung between us. Dad looked away first. I love you both. Then why is only one of us required to surrender? He had no answer. I closed the door. He did not stop me. The next person to visit was Lauren. She came the following afternoon while I was packing for my move. Her eyes were red. She held no purse, no phone, and no dramatic speech. That made me more cautious. Can I talk to you? Are you recording? Her face crumpled. No. Show me your pockets. Seriously? Yes. She turned them out. Empty. I let her inside. She stood among boxes labeled kitchen, books, and nursing. I did not forge your signature. I did not ask yet. I know that is what you think. I think Mom did it. Lauren sat on the edge of a box. She said you agreed. To what? Helping until the store became profitable. I never agreed. She showed me the employment letter, the one I sent her for the party. Lauren closed her eyes. I did not know that. Did you know my name was on the lease? Yes. The answer hurt even though I expected it. You never asked me. Mom said she had handled it. What did that mean to you? That you had discussed it. Did that sound like me? She began crying. I thought maybe you wanted to surprise me. I stared at her. You thought I secretly guaranteed $72,000 for your boutique as a surprise? When you say it like that, I am saying what happened. She wiped her face. Mom said your nursing job made the application stronger. She said family members help each other. Did you sign the lease? Yes. Did you read the guarantee? Not all of it. Why? Because the broker explained it. Did the broker say I was responsible? He said there was secondary family support. Did you tell him you had spoken to me? She looked down. I said Mom handled the family finances. We do not have family finances. You always act like you are separate. I am separate. That is what I mean. I stared at her. She continued, anger rising beneath the tears. You went to school. You got your own apartment. You have your hospital job. You make every decision alone, then act shocked that Mom and Dad see things as family resources. My salary is not a family resource. They helped you. So that gives you the right to use my identity? I said I did not forge it. You accepted it. I believed Mom. Because believing her gave you a store. She stood. That is not fair. It is exactly fair. Her face hardened. You have always thought you were better than me. No. I thought you were protected from consequences. Same thing. No. I took a breath. Lauren, did you know Mom planned to charge me for the graduation party? She looked away. Yes. Did you know the amount? Not exactly. Did you know boutique expenses were included? Violence. Lauren. She said the party helped launch the business. Did you know I had not agreed? She said you would be angry first. I almost laughed. Mom had turned my predictable objection into proof that I needed to be managed. What did you expect to happen after I paid? Lauren's voice became quiet. We could open, then I would pay everyone back. With what profit? The store will make money. How do you know? People love the concept. Have you calculated monthly break-even sales? She stared. What? Rent, payroll, inventory, insurance, returns, card fees, taxes. How much do you need to sell each month? Mom handles the numbers. Of course she did. The same woman who believed my checking account was a family drawer. I looked at my sister. Do you understand that the store is already behind? Her face changed. What? The landlord said the opening is delayed and rent is short. Mom said she paid it. From where? Lauren sat again. I do not know. That was the first moment I saw fear replace entitlement. Not fear of consequences. Fear that the dream itself was not real. I pulled up the documents Rosa had sent. Then the bank inquiry. Then the disputed guarantee. Lauren read in silence. When she reached Mom's email saying Emma becomes difficult when she feels Lauren is receiving more support, she covered her mouth. She wrote that? Yes. I did not ask her to. But you accepted the support. She looked at me. I thought she was paying. With what money? I thought Dad's savings. Dad came here asking me to protect them because they cannot repay me. Her face went pale. Are they broke? I do not know. That answer scared me too. Our parents had always presented themselves as stable. Not wealthy. Responsible. Dad had a management job. Mom ran household finances and occasional event planning. They owned their house. Or I thought they did. The next day, Nina helped me search public records. The house had a new line of credit. $75,000. Opened 8 months earlier. There was also a tax lien connected to Hayes family events. Mom had not only used my identity, she had been moving money from every available source to build Lauren's boutique and maintain the appearance that our family could afford it. Dad's retirement account had been borrowed against. Their savings were nearly gone. My old college account had been emptied years before. My checking account had become a small recurring source. My signing bonus was supposed to become the next one. The party was not the first theft. It was the moment the system ran out of quiet places to take from. Lauren left my apartment without asking me to drop the dispute. That mattered. 2 hours later, she called. Mom says you are lying about the house. I have the property records. She says the line of credit was for renovations. Did she renovate? No. Then ask her for the statements. She says it is none of my business. It became your business when she funded your store. Lauren was silent. Then she said, Will you come to the house tomorrow? Why? She agreed to show us everything. I did not trust the sudden agreement. Nina advised me not to attend alone, so I brought her. Mom hated that. When she opened the door and saw Nina beside me, her face changed. This is a family meeting. Nina smiled politely. Then I am here as Emma's support. Dad sat at the dining table. Lauren was beside him. On the table were bank statements, business records, and a yellow legal pad. Mom had arranged everything neatly. She always became most organized when the truth threatened to become visible. We sat. Mom began with a speech. I made decisions under pressure. Nina interrupted. Before details, is this conversation intended to settle legal claims? Mom looked offended. This is not court. Then Emma is not agreeing to anything today. Dad frowned. Why are you making this hostile? Nina looked at him. I have not used the word fraud once. The room became quiet. Mom's eyes filled with tears. I was trying to help both daughters. I almost admired the sentence. Using me became helping me. How did the boutique help me? I asked. It created a family asset. Owned by whom? Lauren. Then it is Lauren's asset. But family success helps everyone. Did family failure belong to everyone too? Mom looked down. We reviewed the records. The boutique had cost far more than Lauren knew. Lease deposits, construction, fixtures, inventory, branding, marketing, permits, insurance. Mom had spent nearly $109,000. $45,000 came from the home credit line. $20,000 came from Dad's retirement loan. $14,000 came from savings. $8,000 came from credit cards. More came from delayed bills, my account, and unpaid vendor balances. The remaining gap was almost $18,000. My signing bonus and future guarantee were supposed to cover the next stage. The store needed another $30,000 to open properly. Even if I had paid the $6,200, the business would still have been underfunded. Why? Lauren whispered. Mom looked at her. Because I believe in you. No. Why didn't you tell me? You would have been scared. I am scared now. I wanted you to begin with confidence. Lauren stared at the numbers. You began me with debt. Mom reached for her hand. Lauren pulled away. That was new. Dad spoke. We need a solution, not blame. I looked at him. What solution? If Emma agrees to a limited guarantee, the store can open. We sell inventory, repay the high interest balances, and stabilize. Nina wrote something on her pad. I asked, what happens if the store fails? Dad sighed. Why assume failure? Because no one has shown a business plan. Mom pushed a folder toward me. We made one. I opened it. The sales projections were impossible. They assumed the store would sell almost $80,000 of clothing in its first month. The profit calculation ignored returns, payroll tax, damaged inventory, card fees, and seasonal discounts. The marketing plan depended on local influencers posting for free. The vendor terms required payment before restocking. This business cannot support the debt, I said. Mom's eyes narrowed. You are a nurse, not a business expert. Nina examined the summary. Emma is correct. Mom turned toward her. You are not an accountant either. No. But arithmetic remains available to attorneys. Lauren covered her face. Dad pushed back his chair. So we close it before opening? Lose everything? Maybe, I said. Mom stared at me. You would destroy your sister. No, I would stop adding my future to a loss you already created. Lauren looked at the records again. Then she said the words no one expected. I am not opening. Mom stood. What? I am not opening. The store. You cannot decide that emotionally. It is my business. We built this for you. You built debt around me. Mom's face changed from shock to fury. After everything I sacrificed? Lauren stood too. You did not tell me what you sacrificed. You told me investors believed in me. I am the investor. You used Emma's name. For family. No, Lauren said. For the story you wanted to tell about me. The room went silent. I looked at my sister. For years, I believed she enjoyed being the favorite without cost. That day, I saw the price. Mom had turned Lauren into a dream she could display, just as she had turned me into a resource she could spend. Different roles, same ownership. Lauren continued. You wanted the boutique because you could tell everyone your daughter owned a store. You wanted Emma's party because you could show everyone your daughter became a nurse. We are not daughters to you when people are watching. We are announcements. Mom slapped the table. That is cruel. Lauren began crying. It is true. Dad said her name. She turned toward him. And you knew. I did not know all the numbers. You knew enough to tell Emma to withdraw the dispute. Dad looked at me. Then down. That was his answer. Mom gathered the papers. This meeting is over. Nina spoke calmly. No, the legal part is not. Mom froze. Nina slid 3 documents across the table. One acknowledged that I had never authorized the lease guarantee. One confirmed the party invoice was disputed and no payment was owed. One required repayment of the unauthorized withdrawals from my account under a written schedule. Mom laughed. You brought contracts to my house? You brought an invoice to Emma's graduation. No one spoke. Mom looked at me. You planned this. I prepared for you to deny everything. You are humiliating me in front of your sister. You humiliated me in front of 90 guests. Dad picked up the first document. What happens if we sign? The landlord proceeds against the actual tenant and responsible parties. Not Emma, Nina said. The false guarantee is formally withdrawn. We negotiate the account withdrawals privately. Emma reserves all other rights. And if we do not? Then the disputes continue through council and relevant institutions. Mom looked at me. You would report me. I would protect myself. Same thing. No. I had heard that argument before. A boundary feels like an attack to someone who depended on crossing it. Mom refused to sign. Dad asked for time. Lauren signed a separate statement confirming she had never spoken to me about a guarantee. We left. That evening, Mom sent a family-wide email. Subject: Emma's attack on our family. She wrote that I had misunderstood a graduation contribution, threatened Lauren's dream, involved lawyers, and accused my parents of financial crimes. She attached no invoices, no bank records, no guarantee. Only emotion. Within an hour, relatives began calling. Aunt Susan said I should settle privately. Uncle Ray said children owe parents more than money. My grandmother said Mom had always done her best. Cousin Rachel sent one message. I saw the bill at the party. Send me the real invoice. I sent it. She replied, Oh my God. Then she sent it to the family thread. Mom's version collapsed in 11 minutes. The family thread became silent after Rachel posted the real invoice. Then the questions began. Why were boutique expenses included? Who signed Emma's name? What happened to the college account? Why did Patricia create an event company? Was Robert aware? Mom left the thread. Dad wrote, This is being handled privately. Rachel replied, It stopped being private when Emma was billed at a party in front of us. That sentence changed the balance. For the first time, someone outside our house described what happened without protecting Mom's feelings. Other relatives followed. My aunt remembered Mom asking whether nurses received signing bonuses. My grandmother remembered giving separate college checks to both granddaughters. Lauren asked what she meant. Grandma said she had contributed $12,000 to each of us over several years. I had received less than 3,000. Lauren had attended private school and dance programs worth far more than 12. Mom had told Grandma the money remained in protected education accounts. It did not. The caterer's invoice had exposed the party. The party exposed the lease. The lease exposed the accounts. Now the accounts were exposing a pattern that went back more than a decade. Mom called me that night. I did not answer. She left a voicemail. I hope you are happy. Your father is sick over this. Your sister has lost her future. The whole family thinks I am some kind of monster. I made choices because nobody else was willing to carry this family. Someday, you will understand what a mother has to do. I listened once. Then I sent it to Nina and saved it. Not because it was an admission, because it reminded me why speaking directly no longer worked. Mom did not see a difference between carrying the family and controlling it. If she paid, planned, moved, borrowed, or signed, she believed the action became love because her intention wore the word mother. The next week was my first full week at the hospital. I trained on night shift. My patients did not care about the party. They needed medication, reassurance, clean lines, careful records, and someone who listened when pain changed. Work exhausted me. It also returned me to myself. At 3 a.m, family drama became smaller, beside a frightened patient waiting for test results. Not unimportant, properly sized. The signing bonus reached my new account on Friday. Mom could not touch it. I used part for my move, part for student loans, part remained untouched. For the first time, money entered my life without immediately becoming available to the family. The freedom felt almost dangerous.
Lauren closed the boutique project. The landlord agreed to terminate the lease early if the build-out and inventory were surrendered. The security deposit was lost. Several fixtures were sold. Unopened clothing went back to vendors where possible. The loss remained large.
But not as large as another year of rent. Dad wanted Lauren to keep trying. Mom insisted one viral opening could fix everything. Lauren refused. She got a job as assistant manager at another boutique. Mom called it humiliating. Lauren called it education. That was the first sign she might actually change. The false guarantee created a harder problem. Victor's attorney traced the documents through the broker. The application had been submitted from Mom's email. The electronic acknowledgement came from the Wi-Fi address at my parents' house. The copied signature had been uploaded as an image. Mom had used a scanned signature from an old medical authorization form. There was no realistic way to blame a misunderstanding. Victor could have reported the matter immediately. Instead, he offered a civil resolution because he wanted the property returned quickly and the unpaid balance settled. The terms required Mom and Dad to acknowledge that I had no responsibility, pay legal fees, and sign a repayment arrangement tied to the lease loss. Dad agreed. Mom refused. For 3 days. Then Victor's attorney mentioned referral for investigation. She signed. The moment happened in Nina's conference room. Mom sat across from me wearing the same blue dress she had worn at my graduation pinning ceremony. At the time, I had thought the choice was sentimental. Later, Lauren told me Mom wore it because she believed appearing maternal would help. Even clothing became strategy. Dad signed first. His hand shook. Then Lauren. Then Mom. She read every page. At the line stating Emma Hayes did not authorize, sign, or knowingly benefit from the guarantee, she stopped. You did benefit, she said. Nina looked up. From what? The party. The family. Everything we gave her. Nina remained calm. Those are not benefits from the commercial lease. Mom looked at me. You stood in front of the boutique display. I almost laughed. Even now, even with attorneys, records, and a copied signature, she returned to the decoration at my party. I stood near a flower wall, I said. That did not make me a business partner. You let people take pictures. I did not know it created $72,000 of liability. Dad whispered, Patricia, sign. She turned on him. You let them do this to me. He stared at the table. No, I let you do too much for too long. The room became still. Mom looked at him as if he had betrayed her more deeply than I had. Maybe he had. Not because he spoke harshly. because he stopped repeating her version. I should have stopped the party bill, Dad said. I should have asked about the account. I should have read the lease application. I knew things did not make sense, and I chose not to know. Mom began crying. You are blaming me to save yourself. I am responsible too. That was the first time he said it. Not I am sorry this happened. Not your mother was under pressure. I am responsible too. The sentence did not repair him. It made repair possible. Mom signed. Then she pushed the document away. Are you satisfied? I looked at her. No. Her face changed. She had expected victory to be the point. It was not. I am protected, I said. That is different. We left separately. Outside, Dad caught up to me. Emma. I stopped. He looked older than he had at the party. Not physically. Structurally. Like the role of peacemaker had collapsed and he had no idea what remained. I am sorry, he said. I waited. I knew your mother moved money from your account. How much did you know? Not the total. You knew she used my employment letter? I knew it was in the store application. The guarantee? No. Do you believe me? Yes. He nodded. Then why did you come to my apartment asking me to withdraw the dispute? He closed his eyes briefly. Because I thought you could survive the risk better than Lauren could survive losing the store. The honesty hurt. Do you understand what that means? Yes. No. Say it. He looked at me. I chose the child I thought was weaker. And what did that make me? The one I was willing to hurt. The words landed between us. I had spent my life trying to explain that pattern. He had finally named it. I love you, he said. I believe you. He looked hopeful. But your love did not protect me. His eyes filled. I know. I need distance. How much? I do not know. He nodded. This time, he did not ask me to make the answer easier. Mom did not apologize. Not then. She sent long emails explaining the pressure she had faced. She listed sacrifices, pregnancies, school pickups, meals, bills, birthday cakes, medical appointments. Every ordinary act of parenting became evidence that I owed silence. I stopped responding. Nina handled financial communication. Dad began the repayment schedule for money taken from my account. Mom resisted every transfer. Dad made them anyway. They sold one car. Canceled a planned cruise. Refinanced part of the house debt. Family members who once praised Mom's generosity began understanding that much of it had been funded through hidden borrowing. That shift was brutal for her. Her identity depended on being the woman who gave the most. The truth was that she often gave what belonged to someone else. Lauren and I did not become close immediately. For months, our conversations were careful. She apologized more than once. At first, the apologies focused on what she had not known. I did not know Mom copied your signature. I did not know the account was yours. I did not know the party bill included my launch. All true? Not complete. Eventually, she came to my apartment with coffee and said, I need to apologize for what I did know. I let her in. She sat at the kitchen table where I had first spread Rosa's invoices. I knew Mom expected you to pay, she said. I knew you had not agreed. I knew the party had become mostly about the boutique. I let it happen because I wanted the launch. I listened. I told myself you could afford it. I told myself you always said no before helping. I told myself Mom understood you better. She understood how to get around me. Lauren nodded. I used that. Yes, she cried. I am sorry. This apology was different. No pressure. No explanation that erased responsibility. No request for immediate forgiveness. I believe you, I said. She wiped her face. What happens now? We stop using Mom as the bridge between us. What does that mean? If you need something, ask me. You might say no. Yes. She gave a small laugh. That is terrifying. You will survive. She did. Our relationship became smaller and more real. Coffee. Texts. Occasional dinners. No secret financial support. No major rescues. When Lauren had a problem at work, I listened before offering advice. When I needed help moving a shelf, I asked instead of doing it alone. She arrived with tools and no request for money. That mattered. 6 months after graduation, Rosa invited me to her catering kitchen. She wanted to show me something. On the wall near the office was a framed copy of her original invoice. Not my private details, just the itemized structure with a small sign beneath it. Never create a document you would be ashamed to explain to the person named on it. I changed our policy, she said. No combined summaries unless every paying client approves in writing. You did not have to frame my disaster. She smiled. It became training. I laughed. Then she handed me a small box. Inside was a graduation cake. Simple white frosting. My name on top. Nothing about a boutique. Nothing about family sacrifice. I heard you never got to take the cake home, she said. That was true. Mom had given the remaining party cake to Lauren for a boutique photo shoot. I stared at the small cake. Then I cried harder than I had during the legal meeting. Sometimes the kindness that breaks you is not large. It is simply accurate. Rosa saw who the celebration should have been for. We ate cake in the catering kitchen with plastic forks. It was the graduation party I had wanted. Small, quiet, honest. At the hospital, I completed orientation and joined the night team. My first year was hard. I made mistakes, learned, cried in my car, returned the next night. I paid down a large portion of my student loans. I replaced my old car after it stopped on the highway. I built an emergency fund. Not a family emergency fund. Mine. The word felt selfish at first. Then safe. Dad started therapy. He told me 6 months later. I did not praise him for going. I asked what he was learning. That avoiding conflict is still a decision, he said. That sounds useful. It is unpleasant. Also useful. He smiled. Our relationship remained cautious. He never asked me to call Mom. That mattered more than apologies. Mom changed more slowly. The family stopped allowing her to control group events alone. Rachel required shared receipts for a reunion. Aunt Susan collected money directly from each person for Grandma's birthday. Dad opened separate personal accounts. Lauren refused to let Mom communicate with her landlord or employer. Every boundary looked like a small administrative detail. Together, they dismantled the system she had used for years. Without financial control, Mom became angry, then withdrawn, then, eventually, quiet. Almost a year after the graduation party, she asked to meet me at a coffee shop. Public place, no family home. No documents hidden under plates. I agreed. She arrived early. There was no dramatic hug. She placed a folder on the table. I almost laughed. What is that? Receipts. Inside were records of every repayment Dad had made, the closed Hayes family events registration, the resolved lease documents, and a cashier's check for the final amount taken from my account. The check was $1,040, not $6,200, not an emotional total. An exact remaining balance. I sold some jewelry, she said. You did not have to sell jewelry. I did not want your father making the final payment. Why? Because I took it. I looked at her. It was the first sentence she had spoken that did not distribute responsibility. She continued. I also wrote something. She handed me 1 page. Not a 10-page explanation. 1 page. I read it. I used your graduation to promote Lauren's business. I planned to take part of your signing bonus without asking. I used your employment letter and copied your signature because I believed helping the family justified ignoring your consent. It did not. I told myself you were strong enough to carry more, but the truth is that I chose you because I expected fewer consequences. I am sorry. I read it twice. Mom watched me. Did your therapist help you write this? Yes. I can tell. She almost smiled. Then her expression became serious. I do not expect forgiveness today. That is good. The old mom would have reacted. This one nodded. I want to earn the right to know you again. The sentence surprised me. Not the right to be forgiven. The right to know me. My mother had known how I solved problems. What size shoes I wore. Which foods I disliked. She had not known the adult I had become because she viewed my boundaries as obstacles. What does earning it look like? She asked. I do not know yet. Can I call once a week? Once every 2 weeks. She nodded. Can I ask about work? Yes. Can I come to the hospital? No. Another nod. No tears. No accusation. We began there. The relationship did not return to normal. Normal had created the invoice. We built something else. Slower. Less impressive. More honest. 2 years after graduation, the hospital named me clinical mentor for new nurses. There was a small ceremony. I invited Lauren, Dad, Mom, and Rosa. Mom asked whether I wanted a party. I said no. She said, okay. One word. No argument. No surprise bill. At the ceremony, my manager talked about reliability. For a second, the old word made me tense. Then she said, Emma is reliable because she works within clear systems. She does not hide mistakes. She documents carefully. She protects the people whose names are on the record. I looked toward Rosa. She smiled. Afterward, we went to a small restaurant. 6 people, 1 cake. Everyone paid for their own meal except me. Dad covered mine after asking first. Mom gave me a card. Inside was no invoice, only a note. I am proud of the life you built, especially the parts that do not belong to me. I kept that card. I also kept the fake $6 $200 invoice, not because I wanted to remain angry, because it reminded me how easily love becomes control when no one asks for proof. People often ask whether I reported my mother. I did not make the final decision about criminal charges. The landlord chose civil resolution. The bank closed its application. My attorney protected my record. Some people think that means Mom escaped consequences. She did not. She lost financial control. She lost the automatic trust of her daughters. She had to repay money. She had to admit what she did in writing. She had to watch Lauren close the boutique she had turned into a family mission. She had to rebuild relationships without buying, arranging, or managing them. For someone like my mother, that was not a small consequence. Others ask whether I paid anything for the graduation party. Number. Not $1. The catering was paid. The rentals were Mom's choice. The boutique expenses belonged to the people who approved them. A gift becomes a debt only when both people agree before it is given. You cannot hand someone a celebration, wait until they smile for the pictures, and then reveal the price. That is not generosity. It is a trap decorated with balloons. My graduation party taught me something nursing school had already tried to teach. Always check the source. Do not accept a number because someone speaks confidently. Do not sign what you have not read. Do not ignore a strange detail because questioning it might make someone uncomfortable. And when a person named on a document says they never agreed, stop and listen. Rosa's invoice exposed my mother, but it also exposed me. It showed how often I had accepted family stories without checking the records, how often I had called theft a sacrifice, how often I had confused being easy with being loved. I am still helpful. I still organize. I still remember birthdays. I still send Lauren job listings when she asks. I still take Dad's calls. I still meet Mom for coffee. But I no longer offer access as proof of love. My accounts are private. My signature belongs to me. My no does not require a family vote. And when someone gives me a gift, I no longer spend the entire moment wondering what it will cost later. Last spring, Lauren completed a retail management certificate. She invited us to a small dinner after the ceremony. Before we ordered, she placed a white envelope beside my plate. For one terrible second, my entire body remembered the graduation party. Lauren saw my face. Then she laughed. Open it. Inside was a card. No invoice. On the front, she had written, Your share, one honest opinion when I ask for it. I looked at her. That could become expensive. I know. We laughed. Mom smiled but did not interrupt. That was progress too. The caterer's invoice did not destroy our family. The lies underneath it almost did. What saved us was not pretending the betrayal had never happened. It was making sure the same system could never happen again. My mother charged me $6,200 for my own graduation party. The actual catering cost $1,840. The rest paid for a dream I had never agreed to fund and supported documents I had never agreed to sign. She believed I would pay because I had always been the easy daughter. She was wrong. I was not easy. I was trained to be silent. And the moment I asked for the receipt, the entire story changed.